5-color humans is a pretty powerful deck, but with so many humans to choose from, is there a better deck option out there? And that's what we're gonna find out. So what we have here is Boros humans. It centers around Norin the Wary, which is a human card that used to see a lot of play in old human decks. And Norin says, when a player casts a spell or a creature attacks, exile Norin the Wary, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. So in a nutshell, it's always leaving the battlefield and coming back into play. And that works well with cards like Champion of the Parish and Thalia's Lieutenant, which both become bigger when a human enters, and since Norin the Wary is a human, they can get big pretty quickly. The other benefit of Norin is that it's almost impossible to kill, because if your opponent tries to play creature removal or board wipe to stop it, your opponent casting the spell will cause it to leave play, and then it's safe. So almost unkillable, aside from like Grim Lavamancer or Karn or something like that, but quite resilient. And probably the coolest combo with Norin in this deck is the God of the Forge. This is a card that used to see a lot of play in Norin Soul Sisters back when that was a thing, along with Norin. And it says, whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, deal 2 damage to each opponent. So Norin basically leaves play every turn, enters again, which means each turn on your turn and your opponent's turn, you'll deal a minimum of 2 damage to your opponent. So pretty good, and the enchantment's indestructible. So against control decks where games go really long, this is a very, very useful card. Now the question is, why be 2 colors when you can be 5? And the quick answer to that is Magus of the Moon. The current modern metagame right now is very susceptible to Blood Moon or Magus of the Moon. And looking at this modern metagame, we see Tron's up top, very susceptible to Magus of the Moon, along with Grixis Death Shadow humans, affinity somewhat with their manlands, Eldrazi Tron. I mean, it's pretty good. And even in a matchup with 5-color humans, we'd probably get the win over them, just because if they wait to attack us, the Norin keeps entering and then it's going to keep pumping our creatures, and the longer the game goes, the better it is for us. So this deck seems to have a lot of things going for it. Another cool thing you can do with Norin, because you can attack with it before it gets exiled, you can combo it with Kytheon, which says if you attack with 2 creatures, it flips into Gideon. So another cool thing with Norin, I mean, basically the whole deck revolves around Norin. And then there are the cards we find in a typical human deck like Thalia, other Thalia, a Selfless Spirit to make sure we don't get board wipe. And then there's the Daredevil. Now Daredevil's a new card. It's kind of like a ghetto Snapcaster for your opponent's graveyard, where you can play an instant or sorcery in your opponent's graveyard when Daredevil enters. The only issue is that it doesn't have flash, so that's kind of a bummer. And the other problem with main decking this is that sometimes your opponent's deck is just creature heavy and there's nothing in the graveyard to hit. But for 2 mana, it's pretty good. Like if they have Lightning Bolt in the graveyard, for 3 mana you get a Direfleet Daredevil and a Lightning Bolt, and if you use Aether Vial instant speed to get it in, it's pretty good considering it has first strike as well. It's a card with a lot of potential, but difficult to pull off. Anyway, moving on to sideboard, we have 2 Path to Exiles for creature decks, 2 Ethersworn Canonist, mainly for decks with Snapcaster and also Storm. We also have Rest in Peace for graveyard hate, 2 Selfless Spirits for board wipe, 1 Champion against aggro decks, Shattering Spree, and 2 Wear and Tears for artifacts. A Harsh Mentor mainly is for Lantern control, because pulling Harsh Mentor against Lantern control is basically an instant win. And then there's this cool card here, Genesis Chamber, works very well with Norin. Every time a non-token creature enters the battlefield, its owner gets a 1/1 token. So a bit tough to play main deck though, because if our opponent has creatures, then Genesis Chamber helps them. But against control decks like Jessica Control, Genesis Chamber is hella good. And that about wraps it up. So let's get to the gameplay. But first, if you haven't already subscribed, doing so helps out the channel and also helps you know what people want to see. So yeah, but anyway, let's get on to that gameplay. Opening hand has an Aether Vial, 2 lands. Yeah, we'll keep that. And it looks like we're up against Tron. We have Magus of the Moon, so that's good. But the question is, can we get it out fast enough? We shall see. And Eldrazi Tron, okay. So what to do? Unfortunately, we don't have anything for the Direfleet Daredevils to target. Not that we have 3 lands out anyway, but I guess we could play Thalia's Lieutenant. That'd be kind of lame. So let's just put out the Daredevil, even though it's kind of a waste, but at least it's first strike. But act our opponent. They're going to opponent plays Thought Knot. Okay. We'll Vial the Loyalist, but it looks like we're going to lose Magus of the Moon. That's unfortunate. Ooh, and takes the Lieutenant instead? Huh. Maybe he's afraid of getting out aggroed, and they do have 2 of the same Urza lands, so it's not like they're going to hit Tron anytime soon. Oh, look at that. Cool. And since I doubt they're going to have any instants of sorceries in their graveyard, I think we'll just go ahead and play the second Direfleet, especially since they have their Relic out, and then pass back to our opponent and Vial Descent on their turn. Plus they have a waste now, so Magus won't do that much. Another thought, we'll Vial in Thalia's Lieutenant. So many thoughts. Now it takes the Magus of the Moon, okay? Well, looks like it'll be a while before anyone attacks, so let's just see who pulls better cards. Oh, and the Norin. Okay, cool. Play Norin, Thalia, and pass back to our opponent. And what is this? Chalice for 2. We have Cavern of Souls, so that doesn't do anything. Norin comes back, makes us a 4/4, pull land. Well, I think the longer this goes, the better it is for us. I don't think we should attack just yet. If we can pull another Thalia's Lieutenant, that'd be good. Or even if we pull the God, that'd be good as well. So swing with Norin, just so we can flicker, and back to our opponent. Now we do have to watch out for all his death, because he is 1 land away from doing it. Matter Shaper plays waste. Okay, out of cards in hand, both of us are. And there's Thalia's Lieutenant. Awesome. Well, play it, and then watch our opponent in confusion as to why Chalice isn't working. Muy grande indeed. We'll swing in, and they all get first strike and trample. And these already had first strike, but it's looking pretty good for us now. Opponent blocks like this. Sure, they're gonna go down to 2, I believe. Yep, puts a thought in hand, and cool. So even though Direfleets didn't target anything, the first strike is pretty good in this deck. And there's the concede. Alright, not bad. So I go on to game 2 and put in 2 Selfless Spirits, 2 Path to Exiles, 1 Harsh Mentor, and get rid of all 3 Direfleets. Unfortunately, even though they were good last game, and get rid of 2 Lightning Bolts as well. And with that, let's go to game 2. And look at this, man. This is the dream hand, so we will definitely keep this. I mean, all 3 of these cards work really well together, and Magus of the Moon against against him is pretty good. Plus Aether Vial, yeah, you get the idea. Opponent starts with Exhibition Map, back to us. Oh my god. Oh man. Okay, Vial, pass back. Opponent does Chalice. It does work pretty well against us without Cavern. So hopefully we pull a Cavern, but if not, let's use Aether Vial. So pull God of the Forge. But man, that Chalice really did mess us up. So what we'll do, Champion, and then Thalia's Lieutenant, and back to our opponent. And what's this? Oh, Reality Smasher. So let's see which of us is faster. We should be faster if we're able to play our cards, but oh, and there's Cavern, yes. But I think we should do Magus of the Moon. And what should we Vial in, the Norin or the Champion? I think the Champion, actually. So Champion, then Magus of the Moon. It's a lot of big boys. So if they want to try and outrace us, that's fine, because we can deal 8 here. And then back to our opponent. And unfortunately, with Magus of the Moon, it does shut off for Cavern, but it is nice to know that we have it. You know, it's like psychologically, it's satisfying. So what will our opponent do? Ooh, Ratchet Bomb. Pretty good. I imagine I'll fire it on one next turn. And the problem is it could kill Norin. Opponent keeps that big boy as a blocker. Another Norin. Okay, that's not too bad. So we'll Vial the Norin. And do we swing in with everything? Probably not with Magus. Although I could use the Expedition Map to get a waste. And that would kind of waste the Magus. Actually, with the way the numbers work out, if he blocks the Magus, he loses. So his best bet is to block Thalia, go down to 1, and then kill those 3 next turn, leaving us only with the Magus. But with this in hand, I think we're okay. So we'll go with that. And we kind of have to get rid of the Thalia's Lieutenant just so we can save the Magus. So swing in. Now, it might be a bit tough to finish him off because we will lose the Aether Vial when he fires us off, which means we'll have to worry about getting both of these guys out. We won't be able to do it in 1 turn. We'll see. It could be a bit tough. Oh, and opponent blocks there. No way. See, what? That makes no sense. Something's odd here. Is that a misplay or does he have an out? Well, we shall see. I mean, it took a long time to decide on what to block, so it wasn't like he just did it impulsively. Fires Ratchet Bomb. Okay. Leaves us with those. And Walking Ballista, but it doesn't, nothing makes sense here. Like, what I have in the Expedition Map, his plan is to block here and then ping that? Confused. Well, swing in. Yep, looks like he's gonna ping. So opponent survives, and they do have Tron out, so let's see what they can do. Play Norin, and back to them. Now, if they did have Karn in hand, I guess it would make sense to leave the Thalia behind back when they block the other creature, but if there's no Karn here, then I don't really get it. Thought not. That's pretty good. That doesn't save him, but if he takes the God of the Forge, it does buy him some time. I mean, not much time, because we're just gonna attack with the Thalia's Lieutenant. He does have enough to play Karn after that, though. This could be bad. Well, I don't understand. Why not take the God of the Forge? What? Does he not realize the Norin? I don't know. Oh, shoot. And we do pull land, but it's Inspiring Vantage, unfortunately. Okay, swing in. Oh, actually, I shouldn't have played that, because, ooh, if he blocks, we're able to draw a card. Oh, that was a misplay. And if we pull a basic here, we could have played that. Should not have played that. Opponent blocked. Okay, good. It's not a land, so I don't feel too bad now. Can't play that. So back to our opponent. And there's a concede. Okay, we would have gotten it next turn, or eventually with the God and the Norin combo. So pretty gangster, and on to the next one. Opening hand, kind of terrible. We do have Aether Vial. With Aether Vial, we'll be fine. Okay, keep Vial, and on to our opponent's turn. And ooh, is this Storm? Maybe. Land, nice. How cool would it be if it was Storm, and we had Dire Fleet to exile a card they need from their graveyard? That'd be pretty cool. We'll go with Thalia's Lieutenant, and back to our opponent. Bolt. Sure. That's a bit odd, though. So they really Storm if they have Bolt, or they just Blue Moon? Jeskai? What? Okay. Selfless Spirit. Cool. Might as well just save the Vial for our opponent's turn and not play anything. Pass back. And no plays for our opponent. What should we do? Should we just play the Dire Fleet Daredevil and hit him with the Bolt? Yeah, we could. Okay. Oh, and a Snapcaster. That is pretty clever. I always imagine these two cards would compete with each other for cards in graveyards. So pretty cool to see that in action. And as an FU back to him, let's Bolt his Snapcaster. Take that. Such a poetic death for both of them. Back on our turn, Norin. So we do have the combo there. Could play Selfless Spirit. I think the better card here is Norin, because they're tapped out. So yeah. Trying to think how they can stop this combo here. Maybe if they have Dissension Sphere. I don't know. We shall see. Ooh, and Thalia. Cool. Well, play that guy. Should go with Thalia. I mean, I imagine Cryptic's there. He could bounce that also. Let's try Thalia. Yeah, Thalia. I imagine counter and bounce, right? No. Wait. He's thinking about it. Yep, knew it. Alrighty. Back to our opponent. But it is inevitable, right? I mean, you won't be able to bounce it forever. Opponent plays land tap back to us. Full land. Well, try the same thing as before. Then swing in so that it flickers. And might as well try and play the Selfless Spirit. Selfless Spirit hits. Cool. And back to our opponent. And what? Past that? Sure. But Norin comes back, goes down to 14 for our opponent. Plays Visions. humans. And let's see, well, I suppose Vial, the Ranger, and what should we get? I'm actually not too sure. I guess Kytheon? And do we need a second Norin? I don't think so, right? Or maybe. Nah, let's go Champion. Or do we even want Kytheon? Nah, let's go 2 champions. Nothing fancy. Okay, try and do Thalia. Will we see another Cryptic? No, but Lightning Helix. Okay. And another Lightning Helix. And with our opponent tapped out, both champions. Oh, so cool. And then opponent passes back to us. Land and then swing in. And we could pump. Will our opponent tap us down with Cryptic? He doesn't. Ooh, he bounces the Aether Vial. That's not good. So replay the Aether Vial and then back to our opponent. And Magus of the Moon. We'll swing in. Do they have another Cryptic? Not this time. Okay. Is this it? Yeah, we got it. Cool. Pretty good. I mean, I'd say it's a pretty valuable card in that game. So on to sideboarding. So going into game 2, I'm gonna get rid of 3 Lightning Bolts and 1 Legion Loyalist to put in 2 Genesis Chambers and 2 Selfless Spirits. And with that, let's go to game 2. Opening hand, no Aether Vial, but we do have Cavern, Thalia, and Genesis Chambers. So yeah, we'll keep it. So start things off in Norin. And after tapped out, we're definitely going with Genesis Chamber next turn. So come on, let's play like Search for Escanter or something. And no place for our opponent. Fine then. Let's go Thalia. Opponent fetches, but then counter. And back to our opponent. Then Lightning Hooks, but they tap out in the process. So mission accomplished. Now I'll do Genesis Chamber and back to our opponent and watch all the little Murs come in. Yay! Ooh, and another Cavern. So we could play both of these this turn. So we'll do that. Naming Spirit. Actually, no, let's be Gangster and use Cleric. Cleric's more gangster. So that, swing in for 1, then Thalia's Lieutenant, and then back to our opponent. Ooh, and attempts to bolt. Well, what's more valuable, the Thalia or Selfless Spirit? I think there's a trap. Selfless Spirit's more valuable because he could have Supreme Verdict. Opponent plays that tap back to us. Another Selfless Spirit. Okay then, swing in. Opponent goes to 13, and then Selfless Spirit or what if they have Detention Sphere? I think it's safer to play the Cleric because if I were him and he had Supreme Verdict in hand, I would try and bolt the Selfless Spirit followed by Supreme Verdict. So that's more of a threat than an Aware. All right, that's more of a threat than Detention Sphere. So back to our opponent. Well, back on our turn, swing in. Well, they do have the Colonnade now. Is it still worth swinging in? Yeah, it's a swing in. Bolts that in response, indestructible. Opponent goes down to 7, back to them. Opponent plays Search Fast Canta, but is that really the right play? Because now they can't block with Colonnade. Another Norin, swing in. Opponent will take 6 if they don't do anything here. I imagine they have to have some kind of removal, and that they do. Okay, so prevent the life gain. They go to 3, and we might as well play the Vial because why not? And back to them. Opponent passes back to us, and Thalia's Lieutenant. Swing in. Even if they block with Colonnade, they'll still take 3. So what is happening? And a Sphincter's Revelation. Okay, so they'll go to 2. And do we play Thalia's Lieutenant or hold it? They could have board wipe. Oh, man. We'll hold it. We'll hold it. Well, we see Supreme Verdict. No, but Electrolyze or should have played Lieutenant. Well, there are still 2 guys though, and Colonnade can't block. Ooh, and Thalia's Lieutenant. Let's go Thalia's Lieutenant. Swing for 2. Do they have Cryptic? Yeah, they do. So even with Thalia's Lieutenant, or I keep saying Thalia's Lieutenant, right? But I mean just the normal Thalia. Do we play Lieutenant now? I'm still worried about Supreme Verdict, but you just go for it. I mean, the odds of him hitting it are pretty high because he could do Search, but he wouldn't have enough. He'd have to have an extra land. He probably has an extra land in hand. I really don't know. I guess we'll just do it. Watch, we're gonna get board wiped this turn. All right, back to our opponent. Opponent uses that, and he has enough for the Supreme Verdict. Will he do the Supreme Verdict? Ugh, I can feel it coming. I can just see him looking. He sees it. He sees it in the cards. Oh, pulls a Cryptic. Okay, I'd rather see that than Supreme Verdict. So yeah, pull land, go to swing. But he's gonna tap us down. Fine, and back to our opponent. Opponent bolts Thalia, which is a good sign, which means he probably doesn't have Supreme Verdict. Visions. Pull another land. Swing in. Okay, what will our opponent do? I was wondering if he had that in the deck. I was thinking to myself, like, what if he has Settle the Wreckage? Oh man. And so it continues. Okay, 3 lands. My god. Okay, back to our opponent. Opponent plays Steam Vents tap. Pass it back to us. Back on our turn. Aether Vial. Play Aether Vial. Back to our opponent. Opponent needs to secure the waste. My god. Should have played that Thalia's Lieutenant earlier. Oh man, I was sure they had Supreme Verdict. Like, where's their Supreme Verdicts at? I don't know. Opponent swings in. And will they have count? Oh man. I think we gotta go for it now. Oh, this is a little risky. Could wait till this gets to 2, but we're gonna take 10 next turn, so we gotta do it now. Dire Fleet. Please don't have Snapcaster. Targeting Helix? Targeting opponent. I believe they have counter, don't they? Oh, what? It never ends. That would have been such an epic finish. But the good news is we can survive survive this turn by blocking one of these, going down to 1, and just hopefully play God of the Forge. Electrolyze, no. Wait a second, wait, hang on. We can do something clever here. We can do like a pro move, let's see. Opponent swings for a 6, which means they probably have Bolt in hand. Okay, so watch this. Vial and the Norin, and since he already attacked, he can go to block, which is like one of the only times. What? Wait around our parade. Okay. I can't believe it. We had him. We had it so close. And now I have to go to game 3. And he has 6 minutes on his clock, and we got 8 minutes on ours. Dang. But it's pretty epic. And that Search for Azcanta is so good. Do we put in Wear Tear just for that? Maybe we should go with Harsh Mentor. Pretty good against him. But only late game though, so probably won't be relevant then. But it does stop the fetches. Not stop them, but it hurts them from fetches. Yeah, I'll put that in. And swap out Kytheon? Yeah, Kytheon. And with that, let's start it up. This looks alright. We'll keep. So start things off. Aether Vial, then back to our opponent. Opponent plays that tap, good. Ooh, and Magus the Moon. Nice. Okay. Genesis Chamber, back to our opponent. Search for Azcanta, or Vial on this hoe. Selfless Spirit. Do we just go and try and aggro him out? Maybe. Yeah, let's do it. Selfless Spirit, swing in for 3, and back to our opponent. What's the Lightning Bolt on that? This one's kind of tough. Let's give him an incentive to kill the Selfless Spirit. No? Okay. Vial and the Daredevil. And unfortunately, we're tapped out, but we get a guy. And Lightning Bolt. Opponent bolts the Selfless Spirit. Darn. Well, all's well that ends well. Go with Norin. Swing in. And how about this, big boy? All mountains. So, he's got to have a Lightning Bolt to take this thing out, or he's pretty much dead in the water. Boom. All right. That was epic. Oh man, that was pretty good. I mean, game 2 is the best, but game 3 is not bad. I mean, the Magus is pretty good. It's just for the metagame right now, it's so good. I think people just kind of forgot that Blood Moon exists in the world, so it's nice to remind people that you can't just run non-basics and call it a day, you know? So pretty gangster. On to the next one. Opening hand, gosh, I'm not sure. I mean, we have 2 Norins. We don't need 2. Champion's fine. Oh boy. I think we got a mold just because like Magus, if we get Magus off, it's like we don't have the basics. So, and this looks a lot better. Okay, we'll keep this. Thalia, ooh, keep that on top. Start with Aether Vial, and then back to our opponent. Noble Hierarch, okay. So, Thalia. Will Thalia be good against him? Probably not too much. So, we'll go Champion, then Lieutenant, and back to them. Infect, cool. So, what to do? I think this might be a clever move here. We'll go Thalia, and it's going to put him in an iffy position here. No, actually, I think we're pretty safe, because he didn't know Thalia was coming, and now he can't respond to it. So, we're free to use Bolt. You can tell he wants to respond. He has something in his hand, but he can't do it. And now we can swing in for 6, putting them at 13, and then back to them. Another infect guy. And back to our turn. Oh man, I didn't put Aether Vial on 3. Why? Okay, so Champion, and swing in for 8. If only I put this on 3, it would have been so much easier. Opponent takes the 8, goes on to 5, back to them. And what the hell, this shit? What? Presents a creature. Oh my gosh, if we lose because of the... Oh my gosh, if they have the win here. It's too much, it's too much. Do they have Become Immense? Is that why they put this in the graveyard? That would only put them 7, 8. Wouldn't be enough, because even with mutagenic growth, they would still have to pay the extra fee. So opponent swings in, can't block, and there's a concede. Okay, so we didn't need Magus of the Moon, but that was a bit tense there. So on to sideboarding. So going to game 2, I'm gonna get rid of the Ranger, the Selfless Spirit, the Legion Loyalist, 2 of the gods, and put in 2 Path to Exiles, 2 Canonists, and 1 Harsh Mentor, and just basically trying to be more aggro here. And with that, let's go to game 2. Ooh, this is hella risky. We do have a Vial and Thalia. If we can hit a second land, we're good. And we got Path to Exile, so we just need that second land. I think it's worth keeping for that. No plays turn 1. Okay, no land. Start with a Vial and then back to them. Blighted Agent. Oh man, no land. So play these guys and pass back to our opponent. This could be over quickly if we're not careful. The next turn we can use Thalia. Might of Akros. Take 5 infect, and there's the land. Okay, so what to play here? Could go Path to Exile, but they still have the Inkmouth. So let's do this. We'll Vial and Thalia. They allow it, then swing for 4. They take 4, and on second main phase we'll go Path to Exile. Okay, and then back to them. I really want to put the Dire Fleet Daredevil in to get back Might of Old Krosa. Like, how cool would it be to win, if it's even possible, with Might of Old Krosa on a human? That'd be pretty cool. But with 5 lands out, they could probably get around Thalia. Oh man, and that's lethal. I mean, what a bummer. We're just a bit too slow there. So going on to game 2, the only thing that makes them put in Selfless Spirit to block the Inkmouth. And with that, let's go to game 2 or 3. Game 3, yeah, there we go. Opening hand, we have Thalia, but not clean enough, so we're gonna mole. Yeah, this will do. Keep it. Do we need lightning bolt on top? Probably not. We'll keep it on top, but probably not. Back to our opponent. Noble. But I think we need Thalia. Do we keep that lightning bolt? Yeah, we kind of need it, I guess. So start things off with Thalia and back to our opponent. Listener Elf and passes back. Another Thalia. Well, what to do? Swing in. They go for the block. Let's see what happens. They do that in response. Oh, why did I name Spirit? I don't know. I thought I had an extra land for some reason. Whatever. Go for lightning bolt. Yeah, for some reason I thought I had a 4th land where we could put the Selfless Spirit in play this turn. I don't know. So that died. And back to our opponent. Hopefully this doesn't come back to bite us. Opponent draws a card with Horizon Canopy and passes back. Interesting. Land. Let's go ahead and swing in. Ooh, opponent block. What? They can't use Pendle Hate. What? Groundswell. Okay. Doesn't matter because guess what? We've got another one. And Selfless Spirit and back to our opponent. Another Noble. And swings in. Okay. No block. Back on our turn. Go Thalia. The other Thalia, I mean. And the question is, should we swing in with this Thalia? Because they could have mutagenic growth, but only mutagenic growth could do anything. Yeah, let's go for it. In worst case scenario, we sacrifice Selfless Spirit. Opponent does block. Mutagenic growth. Okay, so Selfless Spirit sack. Or does it? Do we want it to sack? Yeah, we kind of need to. And then pass back to opponent. And will our opponent swing in? They do. So I guess no blocks. That feels kind of shitty, but no block. And we pulled Champion of the Parish, but what do we do now? I mean, at this point, does it even matter with having Thalia out? He has so many lands. I guess we'll swing with both. Opponent blocks there. Finds the Vastwood. Okay. Then play Champion of the Parish and pass back to our opponent. Opponent swings in. No blocks from us. We go to 8. Listener Elf. Another Thalia. Play the Thalia. Pass back to our opponent. They can't have that much pump left. Like, there's no way. Opponent swings in with Glistener Elf. It's a 4/5 already. Well, they could have become immense in hand. Do we double block? I don't know what to do anymore because we're low on life, but in fact, if we double block, we'll lose both of them. Let's see. Guess we'll go double. Oh man, this is gonna be shitty. Because if we double block, we'll have to pump. And if he pumps, we lose both of our guys. But if we don't block, it could be lethal with infect. Blossoming defense. Yep. Alrighty. And what if he didn't have anything? I don't know. He didn't have become immense. This is man, it's a fake out. And a land. Shit. Back to our opponent. Opponent swings in. This time, no block. We take the 4 infect. Would he pull lightning bolt? So pass back to our opponent. In response, go ahead, use lightning bolt here. That dies. Swings in, no blocks. 7 infect. And Direfleet Daredevil. Only we could play this as an instant, but let's go ahead and do it. Yeah, Vines of the Vastwood to make this a 7/7. And swing in for 7. Opponent takes the 7 back to them. Who would have thought an infect game would have gone this long? My gosh. Opponent swings in, we got a block. And as long as we keep drawing creatures, we should be okay. Opponent plays that. Oh, there's a land. Back to our opponent. And there it is. My god, we lost the infect. How? I mean, I don't know. We got some pretty bad draws. He faked us out a couple times. Just was not pretty. Oh well. Can't win them all. Opening hand, Aether Vial, 2 lands. So yeah, we'll keep. Well, go for Champion and Thalia's Lieutenant. Both hit. Back to them. And Fatal Push. Fatal Push. Alright. Alling Mine. Ooh. Okay. So we must move quickly. Ooh, Thalia. Nice. So Selfless Spirit, Thalia, and swing for 2. And with Thalia out, we should be good. And do we go Magus to the Moon? We could. Yeah. Cavern of Souls. So we will go Thalia's Lieutenant. Actually, let's Vial in the Magus first. Then with the floating mana, Thalia's Lieutenant. And swing in. When it goes to 5, back to them. Opponent plays a land back to us. Whale. Swing in. And Giga Drow, sure. But that will still be lethal with Lightning Bolt. Okay, cool. So going into game 2, I'm going to go to 3 Lightning Bolts, 1 Legion Loyalist, 1 Selfless Spirit to put in 2 Wear and Tears, 1 Harsh Mentor, and 2 Genesis Chambers. And with that, let's go to game 2. And I think we should be able to get it if we get the Norin Genesis Chamber combo off or God of the Forge Norin. Maybe not so much Genesis Chamber, but the God of the Forge definitely. So on to game 2. And we probably could have taken out the Magus the Moons as well, but whatever. Opening hand, yeah, we can keep it. Not a great draw there. We'll start with Champion of the Parish and pass back to them. Opponent, pass back to us. Pull the Thalia, then we'll drop in Thalia's Lieutenant. Swing for 3. Back on our opponent's turn. What? No plays from them? It's Giga Drows. Yep, tapping one of our lands. But we can still play the Norin and then pass back to our opponent. Another Giga Drows. So we can't do anything this turn. Back to our opponent. At least the Norin's doing some stuff. Opponent, Fatal Push the Champion. Ooh, land. Okay, so if we can get one more land, get the God out, then we'll be fine. So what to do here? We'll go Thalia. And opponent does Cryptic to bounce this and draw a card. So sure. Thalia comes out. Back to our opponent. Thing in the eyes. Land. Yeah, land. Will he counter? Let's attack. See if he wants to do anything. And a couple things we can do here. We can play the Daredevil and then kill the Thing in the ice. Or go with the Forge. We'll attempt it. It's probably not going to go through. But if it does go through, we basically win. Oh, dang. That should do it. Because even if the Norin gets bounced, we can just replay it and make sure it's not countered. So I think we got it. And how do we go about this? I think we'll go Daredevil. Oh, and he bounces the hand. Okay. Whatever. And then we'll Fatal Push the Thing in the ice. Boom. Swing for 3. With the God back in hand, we don't have the lockdown just yet. But he is at 5 life, so we're looking pretty good. Opponent takes an extra turn. Another turn. turn. Another turn. Plays that. Another one. And when they just concede? Okay. Cool. Yeah, I guess, wait, was that the end of their turn? That might have been their last turn. Oh, yeah, it would have passed back to us. We would have dealt 5. Okay, so we got it, I guess. So, yeah. Fun times. Final match of the league. Is this good enough to keep? I don't think so. We're going to mull. And we have a 1-land hand, but we do have an Aether Vial, so this is much better. Bottom of that. Cool. Okay, is it Storm? Let's find out. Oh, so go Thalia's Lieutenant and swing in. Back to opponent. Yeah, Electromancer. Darn. So it's basically like having one Brawl out. And turn Vial into Selfless Spirit. Another Cavern Will. Swing in with these guys. Opponent drops a 12 back to them. Is he going for it? Ugh. Pulls gifts. And I think we gotta put a Grape Shot in the graveyard. And then Desperate Ritual. Man, I can't believe we have Thalia out. And he's still going. I guess we didn't really need to put the Grape Shot in the graveyard. Because I forgot we had Selfless Spirit. And there's one Grape Shot. And with the remand, they got it. Dang. Pretty good. So going into game 2, I'm going to get rid of 4 Magus of the Moons, 1 Legion Loyalist, 1 God of the Forge, to put in 2 Canonists, 2 Rest in Peace, and 2 Path to Exile. And with that, let's go to game 2. Opening hand, Vial, 2 Thalias, yep, Vision. And then back on our turn, go with Champion, Thalia, and pass back to our opponent. Lightning Bolt to Thalia, sure, that's fine. Because we can just Vial them another one. Swing for 4. Opponent goes to 16, back to them. Opponent plays Brawl. Opponent bolts Thalia. And after playing Champion, swing for 7. Opponent goes to 9, back to them. I mean, it looks like we're gonna win, but with Storm, you never really know. Well, maybe not. Gifts ungiven. I guess Pass in Flames, Ritual. Ooh, and I think they got this one. Put Grape Shot in the graveyard, and Manamorphose? I don't know. Yep, there's Grape Shot. Well, wasn't that a fun game to watch them play? So 3-2 overall. Not too bad. Wowee, what a fun extravaganza. With Magus of the Moon being particularly good in those matches, I would say it's the card that ties the whole deck together. Without this card, it's kind of meh, but with this card, it's pretty meh. And unfortunately, we didn't see much of the Dire Fleet Daredevil. I was hoping there'd be this moment where our opponent has a Lightning Bolt in graveyard, and we use the Daredevil to finish them off, but that didn't happen. And the question is Daredevil playable main deck? With the meta, I think it is. There's certain decks that it won't be good against, like humans, affinity, stuff like that, but there are a lot of non-creature decks out there, so I think it could be playable. But as spicy as the deck is right now, I think there's a better version out there, because since recording these videos, I've done about 60 more matches with human variants of this, and I think this version here is slightly better, but there are a few changes here. The main change is adding 3 Smuggler's Copter, and I'm not really sure why I didn't think of this beforehand, but Copter works really well with Norin. So if you get Norin out and you also get the Copter out, you're pretty much guaranteed to have Copter become a creature whenever you want, because Norin's so resilient to removal, your opponent can't simply board wipe you to stop Copter. So really good card to have. Also add an extra land, put in 2 fetches to help support an extra Ranger, and that seemed to help the deck, but also 3 Leyline of Sanctities in the sideboard is really good against the meta right now. Like against Storm, it's really good. Discard decks and a couple other key decks out there, so having 3 Leylines is pretty useful. Also 2 Auriok Champions, because the deck struggles a bit against burn, but with Champion out, we're pretty much set. But now for the bad news. It's been a few days since I filmed the gameplay, and since then, Pro Tour Rivals Ixalan's happened. Hooray! And for one reason or another, everyone's dicks are all hard for Mardu Pyromancer, and it's a deck that happens to wreck this deck pretty hard, because between discarding and creature removal, there are about 23 cards that do that main deck in Mardu Pyromancer, so my god, it's a nightmare playing it. And I swear, I don't know if I'm just getting bad luck or what, every other deck I'm playing right now is Mardu Pyromancer. So not only does Magus not work very well against it, but it's just non-stop creature removal, and the deck just can't handle it. And decks like Tron, which this deck does really well against, people seem to be losing interest in the deck. I don't know, the metagame online changes really, really quickly. We'll have to see if Mardu Pyromancer is here to stay, but if it does, this deck is going to have a lot of trouble against it. But on the bright side, Mono, White, Enchantments does really well against Mardu Pyromancer, so maybe this is our excuse to go back to that deck, which is really popular. Like, you know, the Solemnity videos that I think a lot of people saw it, right? But anyway, that wraps up for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I mean, there are a couple key moments that I thought were enjoyable. I don't know. Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe because it does help the channel out. But that's all for now, and as always, I hope you have a great day.